Today we're going to talk about writing equations in slope-intercept form, but instead of it being from points, from two coordinates, it's going to be from a graph, from a line already made. The previous part of the lesson was writing an equation in slope-intercept form when I give you two coordinates, when you are given 2 points. Today we're going to change it up just slightly. You're still going to be writing equations of lines in slope-intercept form, but this time I'm going to give you the line already drawn on a graph. No matter what, the main purpose is still the same. You are going to find the m and the b, and then you plug it in. You find the m, you find the b, and then you plug it in to slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Find m, find b, plug it in. Same thing as the first part of the lesson. So let's look at an example. So if I give you a graph with a line already drawn on it, I want you to write the equation of this line in slope-intercept form. Now, because it's in slope-intercept form, that means you need to find the m and you need to find the b. Well, let's remind ourselves what those are. The m is the slope, which is rise over run. The b is the y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is where does the line cross the y-axis. So we need to find the m and the b, and then we can plug it into slope-intercept form. Well, the first one that should hopefully be the easiest is the b. Remember, the b is the y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis. The y-axis is the vertical axis that runs up and down. So all you gotta do is look at the line and see where it crosses. So where does our line cross the y-axis? Well, it's right at this point. It's right there at that point. And what is that? 1, 2, 3. So the b is 3, because it crosses the y-axis at the number 3. Now we need to find the m. Hopefully you remember from a previous lesson, when you were given a graph and you were trying to find the slope of that line, we need to use a formula, and that formula is rise over run. You're going to choose 2 points on the line. It does not matter what 2 points you pick. And we're going to do rise over run to see what the slope of this line is. So let's say I want this dot and this dot. Once again, it does not matter which 2 you pick. You always start with the dot on the left. Always start with the dot on the left. And we're going to see, kind of like a staircase, how many times we have to go from this dot to get to this dot. So we have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went down 6. And since I went down, it's a negative. When you go down, it's negative. Now I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So rise would be up and down. So that's our numerator. In this case, it's negative 6. Remember, when you go down, it's negative. Now I go to the right 4. When you go to the right, it's positive. If I would go to the left, it's negative. However, if you always start with the dot on the left and go to the one on the right, then you should always be going a positive horizontal distance. So it's negative 6 over 4. Make sure you always reduce that fraction down, if you can, to negative 3 over 2. So now I know my m, my slope is negative 3 over 2. I know my b is 3. So plug it into the equation, into slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And we're going to have our answer. So y equals negative 3 over 2, because that's my m, x plus 3. Find n, find b, plug it in. We found the b by just seeing where the line crossed the y-axis. We found the m by doing the same thing we did earlier in this chapter, which is pick 2 points and do rise over run, always starting with the dot on the left. There's our answer. Let's do another example. So now we have this line. Once again, I want you to write the equation of this line in slope-intercept form. So we need to find the m, we need to find the b. The b is where the line crosses the y-axis, so we just look at the y-axis. We'll find where it crosses right here, and that is negative 1. So the b would be negative 1. Now we pick 2 points, 2 dots, and we do rise over run to find the slope. Let's just pick these 2. Once again, it does not matter what 2 points you pick. Always start with the one on the left. We're going to go up this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So last time we talked about if I went down, it's negative. If I go up, it's positive. So I went positive 5. I went over to the right 1 time. So rise is 5. Run is 1, 5 over 1, which just equals 5. My answer then, y equals 5x, because 5 is my m, minus 1. Because negative 1 is my b, because the line crossed at negative 1. Now what happens if the line that you are given is just a horizontal line like this? So a horizontal line like this is actually a lot easier for us. It's just something we kind of have to memorize. There is no m, there's no b, you don't need to do rise and run, you don't need to do any of that. You just need to know that anytime it is a horizontal line, there's only going to be one variable in our equation, and that variable is going to be y. So you see where the line crosses. In this case, it's crossing right here at 1, 2, 3. It's crossing 3. What axis is it crossing? Well, it's crossing the y-axis. This is the y-axis. It crosses the y-axis at 3. So the answer is just y equals 3. So when it's a horizontal line, there's no m, there's no b, there's no rise over run, nothing you need to find. You just know that it's y equals blank, wherever that line crosses the axis. In this case, it crossed it here. If it crossed it down here, it'd be negative 3. If it crossed down there, it'd be negative 8. It's where it crosses the line. Likewise, what if the line is a vertical line, straight up and down? Well, in this case, it is crossing which axis? Is it crossing the y-axis? No. It's crossing this axis, which is the x-axis. So anytime the line is just a vertical line, it's going to say x equals some number, wherever that line crosses the x-axis. In this case, here's our origin. It crossed it at 1, 2, 3, 4. So it crossed at negative 4. So it's x equals negative 4. So wherever the line crosses the x-axis is your answer. If it crossed it here, went there, it'd be x equals 1. If it's here, it's x equals 5, wherever it crosses the x-axis. So when it's a vertical line, it's x equals. When it's a horizontal line, it's y equals. And anytime it is neither of those, like this one, or like this one, then you need to do rise over run to find your m. You need to see where the line crosses the y-axis to find the b. Find m, find b, plug it into your slope intercept form.